Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another SPL cast. Let us get started. Whoa, that is really loud. Holy check. Okay, I hope that's better. Holy check, that was loud. Oh, we also have an ad. So, as you may note, we are starting a full 20 minutes late today. I apologize profusely. I was busy at work. Not working though. No, because that would be silly. I mean, who actually works at work, right? I was actually playing poker with some people from work, and you know, as the hour approached 8 o'clock, which is when this starts for me, I went all in on more and more hands until right at the end I was going all in basically every other hand to try and kill myself. So that was a lot of fun. Anyways, we are doing SPL Stars versus SKT T1. Or I say we, but I mean I guess I'm doing it. I guess I could use the royal we. I could be royalty, right? I mean, I'm British. I'm pretty sure like 83% of British people are in some way royal. So we're starting off here with Zero versus Fantasy, which should be an amazing match. Zero's ZVT is top notch, and well, as is Fantasy's TVZ. I'm actually not sure what people think. Do you guys think Fantasy is better TVT or TVZ? I think he's got more interesting TVZ at least. Of course, he is the inventor of the Fantasy build in this matchup, going Vulture Drop into Valkyries. But here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Yesterday, spoiler alert, we had Jaedong versus Flash, which should be even better than Zero versus Fantasy, but it was complete garbage. Like, that game, you could even see it on Jaedong's face afterwards. He wasn't. I'm pretty sure he wasn't like just mad because he. Spoiler alert, because he lost. All right, we're gonna have like 5 minutes of spoilers, so just like cover your ears. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was more mad at the quality of the game than the fact that he lost the Flash. Because I mean, losing the Flash is like, you know, whatever. But losing the Flash in that fashion is kind of dumb. Anyways, we are gonna get started on Jade here. Nice normal map. The only real notable feature about it is the reverse ramp. Otherwise, it's pretty standard. Although Loken was actually telling me the other day when I did a dual cast with him that this is a pretty bad map for Zergs. And at first I didn't believe him, but then I looked at the map statistics. I think they actually showed it on screen just now. I wasn't paying attention. But map statistics-wise, it does seem to show, or it doesn't seem to favor the other races in the versus Zerg matchups. So that is not ideal for Zero. Oh, there's random white girl and black guy. That's like ultimate camera combination. See, if only I was like a fusion of a white girl and a black guy, I would have been guaranteed camera time when I went to Korea. Could you imagine that? Oh, I could be like what's that thing, like a chimera or something? Like the upper half of my body is like a white girl, and then the lower half is like a black guy or something. Actually, no, that wouldn't be quite as cool because I'd be like wearing pants. But okay, if that were the case, then I'd just like go, you know, completely nude, and then that would be awesome. I'd be like guaranteed camera time. I'd wear like a loincloth or something. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I'm in fact as Asian as can be. Or at least I look it. So the camera people were not kind to me that day. Anyway, enough of my QQing. Looks like Fantasy's building a wall at the top of his ramp at the natural. I hate my Asianness. Seriously. I'm like one of those girls who obsess about their weight, which I guess is like all girls. But you know, girls are always like, "Oh, I'm so fat." Well, I'm just gonna start going around being like, "God, I'm so Asian today. I should like try and be less Asian." I'm gonna go on like a diet. I'm gonna stop eating rice. Maybe that'll make me less Asian. Okay, I'm actually bordering. I went from being witty into going borderline racist. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Anyway, looks like Zero's gonna go for 3 hatch before pool. Pretty greedy build, but he does scout this wall off at the front, and it's almost guaranteed to be a 1-Rax expand behind that. So this is not the Not the worst choice. Not the worst choice. And by that I mean this is actually quite intelligent. And if he gets the SCV, that'd be quite funny. No, it looks like he won't get it. Oh, it looks like the drone was actually quite heavily damaged there. And the SCV is now going to get in. He doesn't see the hatchery just yet, but he should know from the spawning pool timing that there is in fact a third hatchery somewhere. Yeah. Oh, does he see that? I think he saw that. I think he saw that. Anyways, and there indeed is the 1-Rax FE. So right off the bat, I'd give the advantage to Zero. Although it looks like Fantasy's thinking about doing some kind of pressure here with just one SCV and one Marine. With good control from Zero, that shouldn't really do much damage. Although it looks like he might lose a drone here. And if he loses a second, oh my god, he's actually gonna lose a second drone. Wow, is he gonna lose a third drone? No, no way. Oh no, it's close, it's close. Look at the SKT1 bench. They're like, lol, Fantasy just raping drones with a Marine. Oh man. Oh, that was actually horrible for Zero. That was good micro from Fantasy though. Good micro. And I gotta say, Terrans are actually being like so aggressive with their early Marines nowadays in TVZ. You know, we see like Flash and which other Terran did it yesterday? Oh, I casted Firebat Hero versus Zero yesterday. The match from like a week ago. And FBH was also pretty aggressive with his early Marines. So that seems to be the new cool thing to do. Anyway, it looks like we have a fast +1 build from Fantasy. So Fantasy going for a +1 4 or 5 racks, which is interesting because Fantasy is kind of notorious for having terrible medic marine control against Zerg, obviously. So I mean, he's, you know, that's why he pioneers these wacky builds like the Vulture drop into Valkyries, and he loves going mech in this matchup. So I guess we'll see how good his M&M micro is nowadays. I mean, if the earlier attack with that one Marine is anything to go by, perhaps he can actually, you know, pull this off. Anyways, looks like we have a 4th base here at the 9 o'clock position, I guess the 9:30-ish position for Zero. Not going to take another natural, or sorry, what am I talking about? That's ZVP. Not going to take another main, rather. Which is kind of interesting to me. That makes me wonder if, you know, perhaps Zero's kind of like metagaming a little bit. He's like, okay, Fantasy is known for doing like crazy harassment and drops and whatnot, so I'm actually going to take a closer third base to me, so that I can defend it more easily against harassment. And although, you know, the trade-off is you can't just defend that base with like 2 lurkers, which is why Zergs usually take their third base at another main, is, well, on ramped maps at least, you just put 2 or 3 lurkers at the bottom or the top of the ramp, and you're basically fine against infinite numbers of Marines. And interesting, look at this! Look at this, Fantasy's actually hiding the fact that he's going for standard medic marine. Rather, he's just kind of rallying them above the command center. That's out of range of the Overlord. That's also out of range of the Zerglings. If you notice, Zero has constantly been poking back and forth at the front at Fantasy's wall with his Zerglings, just trying to get a rough idea of what the unit count is. And Fantasy's not showing it to him, which is very interesting because Zero, look, he's only got 1 creep colony at the base, but against the 4-racks, that is going to be a lot of very strong medic marine coming his way. Fantasy, I'm pretty sure, will wait until +1 is almost finished before moving out so that it finishes right before he gets to Zerg's base. And we do have 3-hatch Muta out from Zero. The Mutas look like they're on the way. Is Fantasy just going to go and try and hit before they get out? That would be quite effective. Looks like one Marine at the front is going to see this coming. Zero not going to make the mistake of, spoiler alert, Sue and Jaedong and not have something spotting there. Although I guess the timing isn't quite the same anymore. It's a little bit later in the game. But yep, there are the 5 barracks mass pumping units. I'm not quite sure the progress of +1. I would imagine that's gonna, well, it should finish soon, say within the next 20-30 seconds or so. Anyway, the Mutalisks are on the way. Looks like Zero forgot one. That poor little Mutalisk all alone at the front of the natural. Zero moving in, sniping a Marine. He's got to be very careful. With the +1, the Marines do an insane amount of damage to the Mutalisks. And it looks like we do have a few turrets up in Fantasy's base as well. Just going to protect him if Zero just goes for the counterattack. Hydra Dance out finished. Zero, you know, after that somewhat slightly greedy opening, the 3-hatch before pool, is going fairly standard, going the 3-hatch muta, getting this the Hydralisk stand for lurkers, and it looks like he's just buying some time with these mutas. Now, see, this third base is extremely vulnerable. This is what I was talking about earlier, where, you know, he can't just defend it with a couple of lurkers. I mean, you know, having said that, lurkers wouldn't be out at this point anyway, but this is going to be quite dangerous for Zero, and looks like he's just going to go with the Mutas and Lings, but look at the amount of damage the Marines are doing, annihilating all the Zerglings, taking down a lot of the Mutalisks, and Zero could be in a lot of trouble right now. I don't know how many Sunken Colonies he has. Even if he has a lot of Sunkens at the natural, which he doesn't, only one Sunken Colony at the natural expansion, Zero could just be dead right now. Fantasy showing that perhaps he has learned how to medic Marine in this matchup. Is it possible? Zero, you know, going in with the Mutas and Lings while the Marines engage the Sunken as well, but it doesn't matter. GG! Fantasy takes out Zero and gives SKT the 1-0 lead in this series. Oh man. 0-0-0-0. I'm very sad. Zero's my favorite Zerg player. But good job, Fantasy.
중앙 한방 싸움에서 너무나 집중된 컨트롤 잘 보여줬기 때문에 10시 멀티가 상관이 없이 그 멀티가 힘이 발휘되기도 전에